little son named Mason, who is 10. I've been married twice now. My current husband, Alex, is 38, and we share a beautiful 1-year-old daughter named Lily. We live in a quaint little town, a place that feels cosy and familiar. I met Alex 6 years ago when I was just 24, and he was 32. It wasn't a traditional meeting. Actually, we first got to know each other over the phone. From the moment we started talking, I was drawn to him. There was something about his voice, his calmness and his sincerity that made me feel comfortable. We spent weeks getting to know each other through long conversations, and when we finally met in person, I felt like I already knew him. The connection between us was instant, and we started dating almost immediately. Alex had never been married before, and I was coming out of a difficult first marriage. I had Mason from my previous relationship, but Alex made me feel like everything was going to be okay. I felt safe with him, like I could finally have the life I'd always dreamed of. As we grew closer, Alex opened up about his past. He told me about a long-term girlfriend he had before we met. They were together for 4 years, but they never married. Alex was the one who ended the relationship, but he also spoke about another love from his younger days. A girl he met when he was just 16 or 17. 17. He described her as his first love, someone he cared for deeply. But when Alex went off to the military, she didn't wait for him, and that was the end of their relationship. His mother also spoke about this first love, saying that Alex had never really moved on from her. I didn't press Alex too much on the subject, but I couldn't help but be curious about this woman. I wondered what she was like, and why she seemed to still have such a hold on him. Sometimes I'd catch him gazing off into space, and I'd wonder if he was thinking about her. I didn't want to bring it up and risk making him upset, but it was hard not to feel like I was competing with a ghost from his past. One day, Alex invited me over to his apartment. I was eager to see where he lived and get a sense of his life. When I walked in, though, I was taken aback. The apartment was old, the furniture worn, and there were obvious signs of neglect. I asked him about it, wondering why it was in such poor condition. He didn't give me a clear answer, just mentioning that he had lived with his parents for a long time and didn't have the time or energy to fix it up. Later, I found out from Alex's mother that he had spent years hanging out with his friends, drinking beer in the park, and bringing different women into his apartment. He'd never mentioned any of this to me, and it shocked me. One thing I did know was that Alex had kept a card from his first girlfriend, the one he had before going into the military. He had kept it all these years, a token from a past love he couldn't seem to let go of. Things took a strange turn on New Year's Eve. Alex and I decided to go to the city centre to enjoy the lights and the holiday spirit. As we arrived, Alex suddenly spotted someone in the crowd. Without warning, he stepped away from me and Mason, moving far off to stand alone. I looked around and noticed that he was staring at a woman. She was with her husband, but there was something about her that seemed familiar. It was Alex's first love. I stood there, confused and uneasy, as I watched Alex watching her. His expression was distant, almost sad. I didn't know what to think. Why was he standing by himself? Why was he so fixated on her? I started to feel like maybe I wasn't as important to him as I thought. I wondered if he still cared about her, even after all these years. When I asked Alex about it, he became defensive. He told me I was overthinking, that I was imagining things, but deep down, I wasn't so sure. He still talked about her from time to time, asking about her life, how she was doing, and even inquiring about her brother. Why did he care so much? Why was she still such a big part of his thoughts? His mother didn't help either. She would bring up the subject of Alex's first love every now and then, saying how much he had loved her, and how sad he had been when she left him. It made me feel like I didn't matter. I started to feel like I was always going to be second best, like I could never measure up to the woman who had been his first love. As time went on, Alex became more distant. He stopped smiling as much, and our conversations felt strained. He wasn't the man I'd fallen in love with. It felt like he was constantly looking back at the past instead of building a future with me and our family. I tried to talk to him again, asking if he still had feelings for her, but he always brushed me off. Eventually, after much soul searching, I came to a difficult decision. I loved Alex, but I couldn't keep living in the shadow of his past. I couldn't be with someone who still seemed to love another woman more than he loved me. I needed to feel valued, needed to know that I was the one he cared about the most. So I asked him the hard question, do you want to be with me, or do you want to go back to her? His reaction was surprise, followed by anger, but deep down I knew I couldn't stay. I didn't feel loved anymore, and I couldn't ignore the growing emptiness inside me. I decided to leave. It wasn't easy. Leaving someone you love is never simple, but I knew it was the right choice. I needed to be with someone who was fully present, someone who valued me as I was without comparing me to the past. It was time to move on and find the love I truly deserved. And so I did. If you enjoyed the story, please like, subscribe, and share.